Nerd Reactor, roll out.
What's up, Reactorites? John here, and yes, we're in the new year, and I'm going to start it off with reviewing Just Mercy. Just Mercy is a movie with, Jamie Foxx and Michael B. Jordan, and also Brie Larson, and this is based on a true story of a Harvard lawyer, Brian Stevenson, who is trying to help out inmates that are in death row, trying to get them out, especially when their cases or court cases have been mishandled and there's not a lot of evidence. And so he's just trying to represent them and just give them good defense. And with the movie, with this time where it's around the 80s, you're in Alabama, in a small town in Alabama, and you're trying to get this guy that's already convicted of murder, Jamie Foxx's Walter McMillan. And so you're going to ruffle some feathers because people believe that he is a killer. And Michael B. Jordan's character, the lawyer, who, Brian Stevenson, his job is to hey, you know what? All these things, these evidence, these eyewitnesses, they're like hogwash. This is all the evidence you have. And then that was enough to convict this poor man. See, that shows you that, things weren't equal back then. And this was after the civil rights movement, so people are still the black community aren't treated as fairly as another community. But yeah, it just shows you how life sucks in that time, in that era, and how you can go to prison, you can go to death row, you can get killed for one crappy false testimony from one person, and everyone would believe that person, and your life is finished. And with this movie, it's a very emotional film, and it's just very tough to watch, just to see this black community trying to struggle with their life and seeing how they're being treated unfairly, especially with Walter McMillan, Jamie Foxx's character. All the family members, and friends, they were there with Jamie Foxx, with Walter McMillan, and none of the cops cared to bring them to court and to hear them testify, because they were there, they were witnesses. He has an alibi. But yeah, so all those people, all those family members, their testimony wasn't worth shit because the authorities didn't bring them to court, and the authorities would rather believe this one guy who is a criminal about to be on death row. And so the guy just makes a story oh yeah, he was there and I saw him, I was a witness. And because of that, you have an innocent man being taken away from his family and, living in prison and, on death row for a crime he didn't commit. And you watch this movie, you watch the performances from these characters, you're like, oh my God. But yeah, all the performances I thought were stellar, especially with, Jamie Foxx and with Michael B. Jordan. And here, Michael B. Jordan plays a lawyer, so he's not a tough guy like you've seen in other movies, like Creed. And, he's just a lawyer, and then when something happens to him, you feel the fear, you feel how he's been wronged by this town and how the authorities in the town has been treating him as a lawyer, because they're doing a lot of shady things, a lot of corrupt things, and it just pisses you off, oh my God, how can these people do this and get away with it? And so it just kind of makes you sad about how there are certain places in America that's still kind of backwards, especially with how they treat certain people. With this movie, you see Brian Stevenson, he'll go through whatever, he knows what he has to deal with, and he's gonna dig up some things, and he's gonna ruffle a lot of feathers. He's gonna piss off a lot of community, even the families of the victim, because the families of the victim believe that Walter McMillan is the killer. And it's kind of it reminds me of Richard Jewell, where you have the FBI and you have the media. They believe that Richard Jewell's the person who planted the bomb, so they attack him, and then now you have that identity that people think you're bad, you're a bomber or you're a killer, and these false accusations, and it's kind of like a witch hunt, a mob just coming after you, and it sucks because you aren't in control, and now that the limelight's on you and people think a certain way, it's kind of hard to get that idea out of people's minds because of what you're tied to. And it really sucks to see Jamie Foxx's character. You know, there were parts where like he kind of gives up and he's done with it. Like he's tired of just trying to fight because no one's really trying to help him, or if they did, it didn't go a certain way, and you kind of feel hurt because like this person didn't do anything, but then they're just fed up with the system that they just stop caring. Yeah, Just Mercy. This is a very powerful film with moving performances by Jamie Foxx and Michael B. Jordan and Destin Daniel Cretton. He was able to just capture just how harsh this world is, this time period, this area, this small town in Alabama. And he focuses on the characters so that you watch them, you really feel for them, and you just feel bad. But yeah, my recommendation is definitely bring tissues for this movie. And with that, I'm John, and I'll see you guys next time.